All right, we're live. I guess I should have asked who's hosting this.
Here, let me go.
Okay, go for it.
They call him Kukulkan. And welcome to the penultimate place to get your Marvel news, our MCU reviews, and fireside chats for all things Marvel. This is episode 60 of the Marvel Mondays initiative, and today's topic is our review of Black Panther. Wakanda Forever. If you're listening on your favorite podcast service, feel free to give us a good rating on that platform. It helps the algorithms and helps us grow our audience. And if you're watching on YouTube, consider dropping a like and a sub. And don't forget to hit the bell to get notifications for when we go live with all our shows like the Penultimate Game Show, the Cross Media Show, and Anime Nation. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Christian Macias, the curator of cinema and your host for the evening. Alongside me today, he is back, the friendly neighborhood co-host of all things Marvel and Destiny, the newest dad in town. Actually, not anymore. A year old now. So, Aragon, how are you?
Hey, what's up? I'm excited to be here. It felt good to be in the movies for an MCU film. It's always a special kind of feeling. So I'm ready to talk some Black Panther.
It's been a year already.
Yes, sir. And the man in flannel, rounding out the war table, of course, our one and only director of operations, Ben Guerrero. How are you?
I'm good. How about you, buddy?
I'm a little cold, but we're doing all right.
Yeah, same here. My feet are freezing. But
I am too. Should I go Slippy's mode?
Go for it. I did want to let you know, Christian. Are you ready for this news that I have for you? We are currently at 9,000 views for how solar punk fiction envisions a better tomorrow.
I don't know who watched it 1,000 times today, but someone did. Maybe it was Jackson.
9,000.
He's got nothing else to do.
I know, right?
Maybe Hugo watched it during his internship so many times.
He's not getting paid for anything else. This might hit 10,000 before the end of the year.
This might hit 10,000 before the end of the week. But
the end of the week? Yeah, you're right.
So awesome.
Yeah, you're right.
The way that this is skyrocketing, I think 2 days ago, it was at like 4.8. So, like,
yeah.
We're also at 297 subscribers. So
nice, 300 right in the corner. Real quick on this, I was talking to Jackson today about this because we co-made the video, so I had to let him know. And we were both saying, like, we checked the comment section of that video. Surprisingly, very wholesome for it being a YouTube comment section. I've had very positive comments. Like 90% of them are good things. So
I've deleted 3 comments that were just like stupidity. Not
like how are you gonna have a bad comment for something like that though?
Well, the ones I deleted were just like random gibberish. So, but the other comments I've left them there. This guy's on the case.
Yeah.
You know?
So thank you to whoever's watching again, folks. We got some housekeeping for you. What's on the horizon, Ruben?
We are doing. That's a good question. Ew, what's on the horizon? We're talking about something on the Penultimate Game Show this week. Eric, I'm getting real sick and tired of me not dropping fucking Senua's Saga. You know, it's getting real sick and tired of this shit. Okay. I don't know.
I'm holding out hope that Silk Song just stealth drops next week.
I wish.
Or first week of December.
Probably December Game Awards.
That could be a big reveal right there. They usually drop and it's out now stuff.
Yeah. Oh, there you go. That's what we're doing on Penultimate Games. We're making predictions for Game Awards.
Elden Ring wins.
Nice.
Elden Ring wings.
Yeah.
They thought Red Dead 2 was gonna win.
It's gonna be straight, guys. I'm sorry to tell you this.
It'll be straight. Yeah, good. Yeah, you're right.
Everybody loves cats.
My prediction: Elden Ring wins Best Direction. God of War wins Game of the Year. I haven't even played it yet.
It doesn't deserve
it. You haven't even played it yet.
Yeah, I'm saying.
I'm 15, 16 hours in. God of War don't deserve it.
Bro,
I'm just telling you.
2 hours
Elden Ring
and
win Best Direction.
We'll see. We'll see on the Penultimate Game Show, won't we, folks?
Yeah. And I think that's about it for this week.
Moving on. MCU news. Did we miss anything? Last time we convened, we talked about the Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania trailer. They played this,
Which
by
I
the way.
finally saw, by the way.
Oh, yeah. What'd you think?
So it was weird because I hadn't seen the trailer yet, and just hearing all y'all talk about Spy Kids and everyone talk about Spy Kids on the internet. When I saw the trailer, I'm like, "Fuck, this looks like Spy Kids."
It does, yeah.
No, it doesn't.
So I guess that's the problem. If you do this whole movie in the quantum verse, like
It's
that
quantum
may be
realm,
an
sir.
issue. Quantum.
Unbelievable.
So probably if you do the whole movie in the quantum realm, but you know, Jonathan Majors, that's what's gonna make this movie great. So.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I have no doubt that Jonathan Majors is going to do his thing. He's a great actor.
Just like you're right though, visually it looks. What you tweeted about it, like no MCU movie has used like the volume set, like well, whatever it is.
Yeah. Yeah, to which Hugo said, like, no one really knows how to use the belt. Like, Greg Fraser and Matt Reeves, like, they used it really well for the Batman. Other places kind of like Mandalorian season 2 was pretty decent, but like other high budget places just haven't used it very well, and it's gonna be kind of tough to get used to the volume. It is much easier to use, I guess, than to building sets and stuff, but
Did Wakanda Forever?
it's a learning curve for sure.
Did Wakanda Forever use the volume?
I'm not sure if they use the volume now.
No, because I watched some behind the scenes stuff, especially with like we'll get into it, like the Wakanda fight, like when Namor was on the beach, like it was just like a giant blue screen, but everything else was like actual, like filmed in Georgia stuff. So.
Okay.
Yeah. So we'll have to wait and see. That movie is like what? That doesn't it kick off Phase 5, and that's pretty. I think March.
No, February, buddy. February 23rd.
Wow.
2023.
But it's okay because we're about to have like a nice little MCU break for a bit, apart from holiday special. So I think that'd be good.
Yeah.
Which should be fun. That should be like a nice little just chill for the holidays. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That was the other trailer. It was the holiday special that James Gunn directed. I think it's his final thing before obviously Guardians 3 comes out. I have not seen the trailer. All I know is that Kevin Bacon is involved in some capacity.
Are we not going to talk about the news for James Gunn?
What news?
Well, that's not a Marvel thing.
Yeah, but like he kind of is working both sides, you know?
Well, he's done. He's going to finish Guardians and then move on.
Okay.
Which he should.
Yeah.
Let him do other stuff.
Dang. DC's going to be crazy.
Let's hope.
You know what I mean?
DC's going to have a vision. That's the thing. They're going to have a vision now. Like, they'll have somebody at the helm. So that's good for them.
They just got to release Shazam 2 and Aquaman 2 and then The Flash and also whatever Black Adam 2 is going to happen. And then start to lay out their vision. You didn't watch that post-credit scene? Something's going to happen.
Horrible. It did horrible, though. The box office.
Well, I guess the hierarchy of the DC universe did not change. Really.
No, of course not. But you know what? Shazam 2 looks pretty fucking fun. Pretty fun.
Enjoy.
Thanks.
Yeah.
I didn't say good. I said fun.
That won't be for me.
Okay.
I hope you enjoy.
All right.
When are we going to get Carnage 2?
We're never getting
Let there be more Carnage.
Morbius.
It's Morbius 2, more Carnage.
Name Morbius.
I would watch. Name Morbius. That means without Morbius. For us Spanish speakers. Or for us non-Spanish speakers. Let's move on. I mean, that's it.
Yeah.
That means we're gonna get straight into Black Panther.
Yeah.
Wakanda Forever. Let's get into it. 2022 released last week. What, 11/10, 11/11?
Yeah.
Is that right? Thank you. 2022. Directed by Ryan Coogler. Let me read you the synopsis real quick before we get into some more details. Forever, Queen Ramonda, Shuri, M'Baku, Okoye, and the Dora Milaje fight to protect their nation from intervening world powers in the wake of King T'Challa's death. As the Wakandans strive to embrace their next chapter, the heroes must band together with the help of the war dog, Nakia, and Everett Ross and forge a new path for the kingdom of Wakanda. This is the 30th film in the MCU, and
Jeez.
it ends Phase 4. Some numbers. This currently has a $180 million opening weekend, which is the highest November debut ever. I don't have the numbers for what it's at today. That's just what the number, I guess. No, I don't. 187 million, yeah, as of this weekend. So there you have it. Rotten Tomatoes is currently at an 84% critic score and a 95% audience score. Huge. Huge for Ryan Coogler. Huge for the Feig. Huge for the MCU.
Damn right.
Mm-hmm. Let's get into our actual discussion. Of course, as always, we start with our general thoughts, kind of broad, what we thought about the movie, no specific details, no spoilers. And I got to start with Eric first. I have to, because he was already tweeting about it.
Yeah, this movie, my thoughts, this movie is good, not great. This movie has quite a few issues for me. But it's still good. Like, I don't think it's a bad movie at all. Like, I think they do a lot of good things. I think they do a lot of things well. Ryan Coogler, like, you could still see, like, of the Phase 4 movies, I think this and Eternals are probably the most artistic of them. But this is good. It's I don't like this more than the first Black Panther, but I'll get more into it later. But it's good, not great.
I'm so happy you brought up the rest of Phase 4, because I was tweeting about this, that Phase 4 is going to be looked at as the black sheep, because if you look at it now, like, where are we going? Movies seem like they're all over the place. But when I actually I tweeted out my list of Mike MCU ranked, and it turns out most of the Phase 4 movies actually ended up higher on my list. There are a few ones that I think are the weaker ones, and those are the ones that like kind of stick to the MCU formula that we like to call. You know what that means.
Yeah.
But I think for the most part, like, these movies are doing something a little bit different, something like more unique and individual. And for that reason, I really enjoyed Wakanda Forever. Despite its length, I know people have an issue with its length. I thought the movie was freaking great. And that's because it decided to be a serious movie from start to finish, and I adored it for that. Legit, like...
I thought you were about to say Namor. I was like, hell yeah, that's why.
No, first of all, like, we'll get into representation. I thought that was freaking incredible. Like, I know Hugo was saying stuff about, like, yeah, he was on my letterbox saying, like, you know, a serious movie with a guy who is a mutant who has like wings for feet, and it's like, sure, that's a little bit silly, but like, we accept that as a kind of an outcome of the genre. It's a superhero genre, but that doesn't mean it isn't a serious movie. And I think like that weight of like losing T'Challa, like that thread that like continues beyond the conclusion of the movie, I thought was riveting to me. Like, as like laser focused as it was on the like how that affected everyone in Wakanda and like its constituents and all the characters, I thought it was great. I wanted more of it. I never felt like, sure, like the pacing was maybe a little bit off here and there in little places, but I was enthralled from start to finish, and I thought it was a great film. It also has the best post-credit scene, full stop, in my opinion. And is it better than Black Panther 1? No, maybe not, but they're doing two different things, and for those, I have them very high up on my list. I guess technically it's number 15 out of 30, so it's a mid movie on my list, but I thought it was great.
I guess that leaves it to me. Jeez, what can I say about this movie? One word to summarize this movie: bloated. Bloated beyond belief.
That hurts me.
I feel like they tried to do too much with this movie. Now, I understand, like, there were outside forces that they kind of needed to, you know, figure out. But, like, I feel like this movie should have just been about T'Challa. Them losing T'Challa, them dealing with the repercussions of Well, the way the movie started, that they are dealing with the repercussions of everybody trying to steal vibranium from Wakanda. I don't think they needed to introduce Namor. It kind of loses the whole Namor stuff. Don't get me wrong, I loved it, but at the same time, I feel like you should have just stuck with one thing here. And yeah, um, I did love that end credit scene. It kind of brought me back, but I still think that this movie was all over the place, which kind of is upsetting.
Dang, that is so rare for me to be like the one that's like rating it the highest out of all of us. Usually
Now,
I'm on the other end.
let me be perfectly clear. This is way better than personally think this is way better than Black Panther. I also
Okay, I
think
forgot that you don't like Black Panther 1, which is an insane
I
take.
also think that Ryan Coogler has watched way too much of The Lion King and Avatar. Because man, oh man, fucking
Yeah, I
blue
mean
people all
that's a
over the
little
place.
unfair. That like unfair. Like in my theater, obviously they're it's they're both Disney products. They played the Avatar trailer before this one, and like James Cameron gets his work done. Like he wants his shit to look good. A case in point, Avatar 1 10 years later still looks freaking great. So obviously Avatar 2 is going to look fantastic. It's a shame that like when you're comparing, obviously they're comparing the water scenes between Avatar 2 and Black Panther 2. It's like one of them looks way better. And obviously Marvel has like a VFX issue that we talk about pretty often here. But like, yeah,
It
no
was
doubt that the James Cameron movie is going to look way better than what we got here.
it was The Lion King, Avatar, and Aquaman, is what I put together for me. That they put those three movies in a blender, and that's what they got here.
Explain Lion King. I don't see where you're getting Lion King from.
At the we're gonna get into it a little later, but at the end of the movie, we see Shuri, on top, not on top, standing above Namor, and her mom's voice just comes out of the ether and is like, "Remember who you are." I was like, okay, all right.
Oh, I guess.
It was cool. I again, I did like this movie. I just think like, yeah. Eric,
All right, okay.
Like you have something to say.
Hmm?
I said it looks like you have something to say.
I figure I'm going to get into it. We're just doing general discussion right now.
Yeah.
So.
Okay, so I'm rating it higher. Eric is good, not great. Ruben's kind of down on it. Seems like okay. This should be a pretty fun discussion. So let's get into the flaws first then.
I mean, the number one thing is the length. That's the pacing is like when he brought Shuri underwater, and then we get to the part where are we getting into spoilers now?
I think it's fair to say. I mean, if you're watching this deep into whatever
Yeah.
this discussion,
Hold on,
it's fair. Yeah, spoilers.
Spoilers ahead. Go for it.
Am I good now?
Yep.
All right, so like when he brings Shuri underwater, we're like, okay, this was a nice scene, and then I don't know, like towards the end of the movie, I'm like, fuck, that underwater scene seemed like fucking 5 movies ago. Like it was hard for me to pick up the 3-act structure, like because it was all over the place. And like don't get me wrong, like I don't think like I like Batman vs Superman, so I can't say anything about like pacing issues like completely ruining the movie for me. Like because there's a lot of good in this movie, like the soundtrack, awesome. But it just runs on a bit long. That's what I thought. Because like when Endgame was 3 hours, but that felt like over like that. I didn't mean to snap, pun. But this movie, it felt like much longer than that. Because some parts just go on way too long.
I guess I would agree with you. Like towards that water part section, like a little bit after, I felt like okay, I did feel its length for a little bit, but for me, like I don't know. When you're dealing with a movie that's about grief, I
which
really
is the Phase
enjoy.
4 theme.
Yeah, for sure, 1000%. I kind of found it refreshing that they're allowing characters to have a crisis of character, and like for it to not be in like a 2 hour film where like you understand, like you'll see like them have like their crisis and then the climax, like, oh, they're suddenly better people and they like are able to deal with that grief. And like that doesn't really happen here. Like it's in like the very, very end, like the final what 5 minutes that Shuri is able to overcome that grief, and then like right before credits is when she like is able to say goodbye. Like
Mhm.
I don't know, I found that a little bit refreshing. Where like Shuri is having, not just Shuri, other people too, are having to deal with T'Challa in their own unique ways for so long that I was like, okay, this movie is getting its time to breathe and deal with that loss in a way that's like, no, it kind of needed the length. Where I enjoyed it, but I totally understand why it wouldn't work for other people.
See, for me, I didn't have a problem with the length of this movie. It was just there were parts of it, or like I said before, that I just didn't think was necessary, and kind of put me to sleep.
To sleep.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, though, like, did Riri really need to be in this movie?
No, but I loved her scene in the college at MIT.
Yeah, that
MIT?
was like when they're in the
Yes,
room
I'm with
together. That was a funny scene. But like Riri did not need to be in this movie. Really, she was literally just a plot device. That's it.
Sure.
Like there was no. Why are you doing this? Which I'm sure we'll get in the Ironheart show, like why she does this stuff. But there was no reason for her to be in this movie at all, none whatsoever.
Yeah, for me, the one I have, if I'm gonna have an issue with anyone who is in the movie, it's Everett Ross,
Oh yeah, I was getting to
who
that too. Like
who was in it because he was in the first movie, right? And he's like a big
yeah,
field cast, right? Him and obviously our new director, something Fontaine, Julie Louis
Elaine.
Dreyfus, Elaine. Thank you. Yeah, I'm
Yes.
like, I understand what they're doing here. We're
His
setting up the
ex.
like
All
the
right.
which is, yeah, sure. We're
Fucking.
setting up the politics for the Thunderbolts, obviously. But like, I don't know, in a movie where it's like so focused on the events of Wakanda and like T'Challa's loss, it's if that felt to me a little out of place.
I put this in my notes. I forgot to put it, but this is funny for me. Like when when the white people were on screen, that's when I was just taken out of the movie. Like I was like, they don't need to be in this movie at all. This is taking me out. Like why is this in here? There's no
The
reason for them to be in here at all.
the funniest thing for me is the needle drop they use for him, which is like Red Hot Chili Peppers, and I love Red Hot Chili Peppers, but like that is very much a white person thing to be
Oh yeah,
listening to on their run. Like, oh, Ryan Coogler gets it. It's part of the joke. I like that. Funny.
yeah. They definitely did. None of that need to be in the movie at all. None whatsoever.
Sure. Sure. But like it also, like Everett Ross like didn't have too many scenes where I felt like it was
Yeah.
overstayed its welcome
Yeah.
for me.
Yeah.
Whatever. Like by the time
If he wasn't in
moved
the
on.
first movie, there'd been no reason for him to have it.
Sure. How we feel about Namor? I loved Tenoch
Oh
Huerta
my
as
god,
Namor.
so good.
Hey, elaborate, please.
Ruben, you look like you were gonna go first. I'm sorry. I was just
No. Go ahead.
like his first scene, like right out of the gate, like speaking wise, not that scene which was really freaking creepy out in the ocean. I
Yes.
enjoyed that scene
Yes.
a lot. Like they did a good job with that one. But like his first scene when he talks to Ramonda and Shuri, it was like this. He's so confident, but friendly and deadly at the same time. Like he, especially his theme throughout the whole movie was really good. Like he was just
Yeah.
awesome. Like I was worried about how they were gonna do Namor, but he did so good. It was phenomenal actor. Did such a good job.
What I really loved about it is that it like echoed the same kind of, a little bit of the same mentality that Killmonger had for T'Challa, but now Namor is doing this with Shuri, which is like we're arguing the same thing but from different perspectives, right? Where his is like very much more of a less of pacifist, more of like a violent centric kind of. No, we're gonna go after them because we have to protect what's ours. Whereas, the Wakandan side is very much like leave us alone to our own devices. And Shuri has to really confront that. For a long time, she's like almost kind of agreeing with Namor, so much so that we get like surprise, surprise, spoilers. We get fucking Killmonger in this movie, right? It's his mask that she is putting on.
And yeah, he was just so good. Sometimes though, I felt as though it was like, this is just Killmonger but water. And then like with the vengeance stuff with Shuri, I'm like, okay, T'Challa literally went through this type of thing in Civil War, and we know what happened with that. But so I felt as though there was some sameness, but like the performances are what sold it for me. They did a really good job.
I guess if I think about it as well, like it's Shuri's arc isn't that much different, I would say, to like Peter's in No Way Home, where like in No Way Home when Peter loses May, like he gets very much like spiteful and is very much like vengeance focused, where that Tobey Maguire Peter has to come to the rescue and save him and like remember who he is, whereas Shuri has to do the same thing when she's like getting ready to kill Namor. And she has what Ruben calls a Lion King moment where she says, not remember who you are. That's the Lion King thing. What does she say?
She said something very close to it.
Yeah, which is a callback to the other. She said it before in Black Panther, I think.
Which I didn't like the fact it was just such a quick cutaway. Like I didn't like that at all whatsoever. I would have liked her to have like maybe a moment, maybe when she got stabbed. Like maybe she like passes out for a bit, goes back into the ancestral room, and actually has a conversation with her mom, rather than just her mom just shows up out of the blue. Oh, show them who you are. Okay, well.
I'm trying to think this through. Yeah, because you're right. I think that moment needed a bit more. Like it just kind of feels like a switch, and it just happens because the movie needed to end.
Because
and I'm with you.
If she's the reason why she's so angry, like let her have that moment. Like T'Challa had it with T'Chaka. Like, and if she is the reason why, like, she's so angry all the time, let her have like a moment to breathe. Okay, if we were talking about like all these characters get moment to breathe, let Shuri have a moment to breathe. Whether it's just all right, it ends.
Yeah,
all right, vengeance is done. So
yeah, and I agree, and that's part of my criticism. That said, again, the moment where Killmonger shows up in the ancestral realm, I thought was like fantastic. Like having been denied her like internal like want for revenge, like she doesn't even realize what she wants. She's thinking it's gonna be her mom. It's like, no, this is not. Yeah, I thought it was great. Yeah, tough line to traverse, I guess, this movie.
And then I kept when Tessa said, "Hey, tell me about the movie," because I probably won't be able to see it for a bit. So I kept wanting to say the Atlanteans. I'm like, no, they're not Atlanteans. Like they were like Atuma, Namora. They were creepy as well. They were challenging people to deal with.
Yeah, but you see, this is where like the whole Namor and what are we calling them? They're not Atlanteans.
What's the name of the city? Oh my god.
Oh, Telotan? No,
Tulukan.
Tulukan. Yeah, there you go.
Tulukan, yeah, the Tulukans.
So I'm just very confused as to what the hell is going on with them. Like, they were technically the same. Like, they were born the same way that that Namor was born, but somehow Namor. Am I wrong?
They drank the thing. They drank the.
Yeah,
the
but
vibranium plant thing.
Yeah, no.
Whatever.
They drank the vibranium plant thing. They didn't. It wasn't those people that drank it. It was the original people that drank it. And then
the ancestors. Yeah,
yes,
yeah.
Then they had children. So my thing is like, why they're not the same?
Well, Namor said like I'm half and half.
Yeah, like the cream.
He's a mutant, which it was so cool to hear mutant.
Yeah, he's a mutant because his mom drank it while he was in the womb.
Pregnant. Okay.
Yeah.
Which totally makes sense. They get a magical flower plant to drink as well.
Which, if Hugo listens to this, because he's a hater, he'll be like, "Gee, this is my problem with the movie. It's so stupid." And it's like, whatever, dude. It's comics. Like,
well, you know
we gotta just move on.
Hugo, you should have just called in.
You should have. You shouldn't have been in Italy. Should have been awake.
It's his fault. You know?
Exactly. I had a note here on something Eric just brought up. Now I can't remember. On this vibranium plant thing.
Like it moves the story along that they get a magical flower plant as well, but like
serviceable, sure.
Yeah, they're like sure it moves it along. That's what.
Yeah, for sure.
Uh-huh.
I'm gonna go back to the beginning of the movie, which I thought was like fantastic. The opening.
Oh yeah.
Shuri on the elevator. But okay, by the way, this is something I want to mention as well. I know we gave a lot of crap to Letitia Wright, deservedly so, for what she was saying online and for what she was doing in person and like possibly getting people sick on set for not wanting to be vaccinated. I get that. All that said, on the other side of watching this movie, I did think her performance was phenomenal. Yeah, it was pretty freaking great.
Yeah.
Like she was the heart of this movie. I mean, everyone was like putting in performances, dude. Angela Bassett, Dene Guerrero was fantastic, and of course, Lupita Nyong'o. Everyone was. You could feel love behind the camera. It was so good.
Lupita.
I love Lupita. Part Mexican. In case you didn't know.
I did not know that. Interesting.
Yeah, she was born there.
Huh.
And then the opening credit scene as well, where it's usually it's the MCU kind of studio logo. We're getting like
perfect.
This was just Chadwick, and it was a moment of silence. That happens twice, and it was the girl next to me was crying, and I got emotional as well. It was great.
Yeah.
Did anyone actually cry in the movie?
I got like choked up. I don't think I had tears came out.
I had a few tears at the end.
Because like for me, just a personal story here. So like my grandfather's funeral was the day I found out Chadwick passed. And so I kind of like put those two together, which like when I was over with grieving over my grandfather, like I was over with grieving for Chadwick because it was so similar to two people that, you know, meant a lot to me in like different ways. Okay. So like seeing him again, it was nice. I was sad, like he's not there, but like, especially when they brought the coffin up, but it was I already did like my grieving. So it was just good to see him again in the way we got. But yeah, it was nice.
I also really appreciated that the MCU didn't shy away from like real world Chadwick, where like I think they kind of alluded that T'Challa was dying of cancer as well, and that Shuri just could not, even with all her technology and her know-how, wasn't able to find a cure for him as well. That sounds weird for me to say it as like a positive of the movie, but I don't know, these small things that like I didn't expect. And then Ryan mentioned this in his Letterboxd review as well. I did not expect for Marvel to have such like go out of their way to express and show off like the passing of Chadwick with such like care.
Yeah.
That it was a surprise to me and something that I felt was like really welcome and I enjoyed.
Because like sometimes I know actors are not their characters, but they were kind of like synonymous with one another. So when he said like T'Challa was suffering through this, just didn't tell anyone, just like fought on. I was like, that's what Chadwick did there. So I enjoyed that little line that they did.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. One thing that's like kind of a criticism for me, but also a positive is the, you know, we in a Marvel movie, there's obviously going to be some action set pieces. I did not care for the climax action piece. Like it kind of you know, same as the third act in Black Panther 1, just kind of looked like a little bit of goop to me. Just things happening on screen. However, when it was practical, when it was the fight on top of the bridge with Okoye and one of the Tulukans, that fight I thought was awesome. Thank you, Eric. Yeah, I thought that fight was freaking great.
Yeah, I agree with you. Like my issue was like I would have preferred if Shuri not became Black Panther in a way. Like I didn't when she was in Black Panther, I'm like, go back to Shuri. Like I don't want Like, I felt as though it was kind of like too fast, and I realized like she had to become it. But I just didn't really care about the Black Panther action scenes at all in this movie. Like they were fine.
Sure.
They were serviceable for the movie, but I much preferred like Shuri outside of it rather than her. And
can we talk about the fake out that we got with the first trailer? That we thought it was going to be somebody else as Black Panther? Because the first trailer.
No, I 1000% thought it was going to be Shuri, especially after the poster
because
too.
the first trailer it showed off like somebody more bulkier, if I remember correctly.
No, they showed the one. No way.
I'm pretty sure they did, just to fake us out.
I'll be right back.
Okay.
Go back and watch the first one. It's the shot from her on the beach.
Okay. All right. I guess I was wrong. All right. I do want to
go ahead. You first.
No, you go first.
Eric brought something up too that he said he wished somebody else was Black Panther. I mean, for a moment, I'm not gonna lie to you, I thought it was gonna be Okoye that was going to rise up to the mantle, especially with like, the whole like subplot with her and Ramonda having their discussion about like them servicing.
Yeah.
The crown, whatever. Yeah, that whole scene in the throne room. I was like, oh, is it going to be her instead? Is this the fake out? At the end, there's something I want to ask you, Ruben, where Shuri leaves and M'Baku is there at the ritual to fight for the crown.
Yeah.
Not for the mantle of Black Panther, but for the crown. But could we see M'Baku become the next Black Panther, or is he just fighting to be the head of?
So the reason why I brought up
the
fake out is because I honestly thought it was going to be M'Baku turning to be like throughout the first trailer. Like I said, I thought the first trailer showed off somebody else. I thought it was going to be M'Baku, and I think we could see it. I think there could be multiple Black Panthers. I don't see why not. I do think with what Shuri's doing in Haiti. I mean, who knows? She could just be taking time off. She could be grieving. She could just like...
Which is how I read it as well. Yeah.
I'm good. Like, I don't want it anymore. Like, who knows? Especially if she doesn't want it anymore. Like, if I remember correctly, the title of Black Panther falls to the leader.
No, they don't have to. No.
Okay.
Because T'Challa was the Black Panther and T'Chaka was still the king.
Yeah, you're right.
And also, like, it's very obvious we're gearing up towards a young Avengers kind of team up, and M'Baku would not fit. Shuri would 1000% would, especially because her and Ironheart have rapport now. So
yeah. But again, like,
if I have another complaint too, it would be M'Baku is not in the movie enough.
Yep.
Honestly, M'Baku was probably one of my favorite parts of the movie. Just like his...
Yeah, should have been more in it.
I mean, yeah, definitely. But like his conversations that he has with Shuri, like after Ramonda dies, perfection, man. Absolutely perfection. And the way that he looks at her, like, fuck, I was not expecting you to go this hard, you know? Oh,
because it's almost like another brotherly figure.
Yeah, absolutely. But it's more of even the things that he says, like, the world has taken so much away from you. I don't remember the line specifically, but
for you to still be looked at as a child. Yeah.
Oh my god, fucking heartbreaking.
I mean, devastating movie for me. Like at that moment, it's like you realize, like, holy shit, she really has lost everyone. Like it is just her. Yeah. I don't. Kind of hurt. Go ahead, Eric.
Shout out to my buddy Floyd, who was one of M'Baku's bodyguards.
Isn't that the LSU?
Yeah, he was in the movie again. Had some more screen time this time. So when we show up on screen, I'm like, hell yeah. He was. He said he had a picture, or he had a video of him at the premiere with Winston Duke, and they're just like clowning with him. I was like, oh, that's so good, so great for him. Let's see, what's another thing I had? How about this? Feels weird for me to be saying this. Can we get to the representation part? Because I'm really excited to talk about that.
Yeah. Okay. Do you want to lead or not lead it, but like,
I know. I
is there
just
something
like
you
I
want
want
to
to hear.
mention?
I'm ready to hear your thoughts.
First of all, I think it's been great that Tenoch on his kind of what kind of tours do you call that? Press tour?
Press tour.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, press tour. He's been
Press
talking a
conference.
lot about. Yes, he's been really like adamant on discussing colorism, which is like something I really hadn't thought about. Like specifically in Mexico, where all the roles, a majority of the roles in Mexico and resolving like Latin film and television will be biased towards light skinned people with clear color eyes, your blues, your greens. When and it's the minor roles that are going to people who with like darker complexions, darker eye colors, and you don't see the same opportunities being given to people like even in Mexico, like in the people light skin versus darker skin, and that's true of like a lot of cultures. So I thought it was refreshing for him to be saying things about this, and being like, "Hey, we got to work harder." Like, but it can happen. Like, I am proof that like things like this, we can do it too, which I found lovely. But in the movie itself, I thought was awesome. The smile on my face when I saw the Tulucans playing the game that the mines used to play, where you would hit the soccer ball,
Fuck
whatever the
yeah,
ball with
bro.
your hip,
Yeah.
make it through the hole, and whoever wins, you get sacrificed.
I was thinking of Road to El Dorado when I saw that.
Which I have not seen.
Oh, you
It's
should watch it.
they have the scene like yeah they have that in there.
Yeah, that's a big, not big part, but big scene.
But the thing for me that really cemented it was, weirdly enough, the use of subtitles, and how like widely varied the languages were in this movie. Because obviously you have English, duh. You have the Wakandan spoken language, but then you have two different dialects of the Tulucans are using. They're using their ancient Aztec language, and then they're using like Spanish proper. And Lupita's also speaking Spanish. And it was nice to see. First of all, it was cool to see the subtitles,
French.
different colors depending on what they're
Yeah.
speaking.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh, the French as well. Thank you. Yeah, in Haiti, francophone
Freaking
country.
French.
Yeah. Where was I going with this?
The subtitles, different colors.
Yeah.
No, I lost it. I was building up to something major with the subtitles.
I'm sorry.
That's okay.
I
okay.
did appreciate that we like it was color coded for me. Well, not for just for me, but like just in general. I thought it was a real good touch.
Specifically, what you got colors on yours, Ruben?
Yeah, you didn't get colors.
It was all white for me.
Oh.
Stupid. Oh, okay. I remember now.
Go for it.
First of all, the use of languages I thought was awesome because like that is exposure, that is like representation of me on screen, legit. Like I don't know. When I look at like what Black Panther did for like obviously the Black community, even though Namor is the bad guy, like just seeing characters on screen that speak like me and look similar to me, or people that I grew up with, like, is refreshing, and people have someone to look up to. Like people thirsting after Tenoch is like, oh, we're thirsting after Mexicans now. Like, yes, absolutely. But the thing that really like also again cemented how cool it was that Ryan Coogler like and cast kind of approached the movie is that some of the actors that were cast as the Tulucans, one, had to learn English, but also the Aztec language. So there's like respect across the board for everything here, which there is not enough of in Hollywood, but it happens in one of the biggest franchises in the world, and that rocks.
I have to go. I'll be right back.
Okay.
Goodbye. Eric heard me talk about Spanish, and he said, "No, I can't deal with
I'm
this
not here for it.
POC shit." Yeah,
Give me 1 second. Let me fix this.
that's cool, man. To me, it's also different than, what's his name? Michael Pena, the way he's typecast in every movie's in Hollywood, where he's just like, oh, he's the Mexican who like the funny guy, and it's like Mexicans can play other roles as well, So that was it for me.
Okay. I want to take a little different aspect of this. I feel like it was definitely a different thing to see Haiti on screen, and them
Sure.
just get like notification on screen. It was for me as a Dominican. I thought that was really really cool. I know, you know, Haiti's the Haitian people and Dominican people don't really get along, but I am here for it, man. Fucking
Hmm.
let's show it off, even if it wasn't Haiti, you know, because
Yeah.
it's definitely Puerto Rico, but still,
It's also like, when is the last time you saw Haiti in a movie anywhere? In
yeah,
any, you know what I mean?
exactly.
Or for it to be shown off where like you don't have the filters that people use for those kinds of country, the yellow filter, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
And it's like, look how beautiful this place can look.
yeah,
It's
very
refreshing,
cool.
dude.
Absolutely.
Some other complaints that I have, just as we're rounding our conversation before Eric gets back, is that, um, as always, I got to bring up VFX. Just in that climax fight, just looked a little weird. Maybe a little bit in the middle too when Namor attacks Wakanda. Not everything looks the best, but like whatever. At this
That
point, there's nothing I can do.
that
You know,
last
it's gonna
fight
look the way it
scene,
looks.
that last fight scene when he's walking away, like she's pegged and he's walking away. I was just like, oh no, what are we doing here?
Yeah,
Why are we showing this?
because you can see very much that it's like, oh, look at all this green screen everywhere.
Yeah,
It's like,
yeah.
whatever.
So it's weird for me because sometimes the green screen looks great and then sometimes it looks horrible. Also, I want to give a shout out to that fucking. I think what it was is the scene where we first see Namor. Did they just watch that episode of Game of Thrones and was like, yeah, let's do this, where it was just like pitch black. Like, I couldn't
Oh, and he
see
walks out of
anything.
the fucking water.
Yeah, man, that whole scene where they're just standing in front of the fire. I just like, what is going on here? I couldn't see anything.
That was cool. It was nighttime.
It was cool, but like, there's a fucking moon somewhere. Come on.
Okay, the moon is not gonna light up that much. There's only so much you can
Are
do.
you sure about that?
If we're gonna give praise to any movie that's, you know, shot really well for nighttime, it's Nope, which looks phenomenal.
Haven't seen it.
But speaking of which, actually, that's a good point. One more cool thing I wanted to bring up that Eric brought up earlier is the first time we don't even see them first, we hear them. There's siren call. There's just like a whole squad of them
Fucking
singing,
crazy.
and like that, like you feel that tension. It's like, okay, this is a cool scene.
Yeah.
I really like that on the boat.
Did we talk about because this was a freaking debate on Twitter I saw about apparently like the actor, how do you pronounce his name? I want to make sure I have it right.
Tenoch?
Tenoch?
Yeah, Tenoch.
Tenoch. He wanted to make it clear that Namor and it was indigenous, not Latinos. I think he said
Sure. Yes.
He wanted to clarify that. So I think when I saw that tweet on Twitter about Latino representation, I think they were just talking about the actors, which
Yes.
like still like just like actors, characters. The fact like I think we like Phase 4. I think that's what's going to be its biggest strong suit is that like the steps are being taken towards where it needs to be, which I think is the best part of Phase 4. Is
and
more people being seen.
That is like one of the Eric, fantastic point, because that's one of the strongest things about this movie in terms of representation is that you're right, because this movie is about colonialism. If he's Latino, it wouldn't hit the same, because like that has like inherent things, you know, baked in, like, you know, for it to be a movie that is anti-colonialism in the same way that like kind of mirrors Wakanda, then he would have to be indigenous, because that's what it's all about and that's what he's fighting for. So that makes sense.
Like Namor was going against the Spaniards, like that's he was going against Spanish people. So I think that I enjoyed that, like him getting his name. That was a pretty.
Yeah.
Oh, hello.
You muted.
I'll be back.
Okay.
Yeah, I did like his name as well. Sin amor.
Yeah.
Namor. That means without love.
I guess for me, I have one question and one question only. I'm not. Obviously, I'm not caught up on who Namor is as a character in Marvel Comics. He's a villain, I'm assuming, or
You think I know? Yes, that's what I thought.
Yeah, one would assume from this movie that he's a villain, but I'm not sure if Namor is actually a bad guy.
Also known as the Submariner, a fictional character appearing in American comic books published by Marvel Comics. Who knows?
Doesn't
Who knows?
really even say.
Is he an antagonist of sorts? Could be.
Could be.
Or is he a what is it? What would you call that? An anti-hero? Could be an anti-hero.
Oh, okay. So his first appearance was Namor was an enemy of the United States, so probably yes.
Holy shit!
Yeah.
Aren't we all? How fucking badass is it that he loses the fight and like goes home and fucking paints a mural about the fight?
Yep.
That's fucking sick.
How badass does he? Well, you know, is he still flying? Like, does his wing heal?
He probably regenerate it. He's a
Who
mutant.
knows?
Who knows?
If he's in the water long enough.
He doesn't.
He was so conniving at the end too, because he was like, "The Wakandans will need us, and like we'll strike again." I was like, "Whew."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which, Eric, I guess brings us to the one and only question: where are we ranking Namor?
Oh, are we done with all?
I think so. I don't have anything else to say.
Okay.
Christian?
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. I think it's a great movie. That's obviously flawed, but that I really enjoyed. And again, I want to reiterate that I really appreciate Marvel for taking such care with T'Challa's death and revolving the plot around that grief.
I think
and sticking with it from start to finish. You think they aced it?
I think they aced it. Yeah, that was.
Yeah, I think for the most part they did. I think for the most part they did as well. And people are gonna bash on this movie, but I don't care what they say. I had a good time, and that's all that matters because I got to see a cool movie and I'm Mexican on screen. So,
and that really is what it's about. Like that's what this movie is about. I think because I remember when I went to go see Black Panther, like it was awesome that most of the crowd was African American when I went to go see it. Like it felt like I'm just sitting here enjoying the moment, like because this isn't about me. So, and like there were like a bunch of little kids like right in front of me whenever T'Challa showed up for the first time, just big smiles on their faces. You know, like that's what it's for. Like, so yeah.
Can I just say too, like, for a moment, I was nervous for my theater, because like when the moment of silence thing happened the first time, you know, I was scared that someone was going to like. And you know, not that it'd be a bad thing, but like they were gonna like start chiming in and cheering and stuff, and like I don't know. I kind of appreciated the fact that the theater remained silent for that whole moment
because they knew,
and we just got to sit with it.
Yeah.
You know, like, Ruben's right. I think like we knew the gravity of the situation.
Sure.
So, all right, so. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and whoever is watching this, it is time. Let me get this. It is time for our favorite game of ranking the Marvel villains. Now, funny enough here, I think Namor is more of an antagonist than a villain, but we can get into semantics later.
We were just talking about this while you were gone.
Like I don't think he's a villain. I think he is an antagonist. The people causing Wakanda and Tulakan to go at each other are the real bad guys, aka
the CIA,
the whites. Sorry, I just have no other way to say that. In this context, I really have no because they were like, especially when Valentina was like, "Oh, I am dreaming of America with vibranium." I'm like, "That's not good."
Can we also just? I'm sorry to cut you off, Eric. Could we also just talk about how they were quick to just blame Wakanda, like for everything?
Yeah, it was strange.
Yeah,
there was some story choices. Yeah,
is it though?
Well, like it makes sense for them because like it makes sense for like the CIA because it's like. Who can we blame here?
Who else has vibranium? Yes.
Yeah. So,
shout out Ever Ross for being the only ally.
Right. I was gonna say a funny joke, like he's the one guy, like in She-Hulk, who just screamed Wakanda forever.
He's stupid.
All right. So it's time to rank the villains. Number 10, Loki from Avengers. Number 9. So Ruben's gonna love this episode today. Number 10, Loki from Avengers. Number 9, Winter Soldier from Captain America Winter Soldier. Number 8, Mysterio from Far From Home. Number 7, Green Goblin from No Way Home. Number 6, Wenwu from Shang-Chi. Number 5, Zemo from Civil War. Number 4, Vulture from Spider-Man Homecoming. Number 3, Killmonger from Black Panther. Number 2, Wanda Maximoff from Multiverse of Madness. And number 1, Thanos from Infinity War. Ruben, I'm going to start with you.
I'm glad that we brought up, like, he isn't really the villain in this movie, but the real villain of this movie is grief. So I think we should just put grief at number 1.
And capitalism.
No, we should definitely put a person of color on there over a fucking theme.
Fair enough. I'm thinking he's, top 5.
He's definitely a top 5.
And
holy shit, wow.
The question is, where do I want to put him? Because he is kind of similar to Killmonger, just in water. I'm gonna go with the new number 5.
That would be one above Zemo, one below Vulture.
Yes. One above Zemo, one below Vulture.
Eric, let me go next because I think you're higher than me on this. To me, he would be the new number 12, right above Gore and right below Hela. Because I think he's a strong antagonist. I think the way he challenges Shuri is like fantastic. Like that tension is what like really intrigued me. Obviously, the representation was fantastic, but I think in a lot of ways, what we got from Namor, I found stronger and more compelling with Killmonger. That it's kind of hard to compare. And even like with the other ones, I think they challenge the protagonist in ways that I find a bit more compelling than what Namor did. So for that reason, he's a bit lower on mine, but I still thought he was great.
The reason why I say that he is maybe top 5 is because, like, even after everything he did, people still don't know anything about, like, they don't know that Namor is a villain. They don't know that Namor exists. They don't know he still managed to pin everything that happened on the Wakandans, which is kind of oof.
True, I guess that isn't really resolved, huh? They just have their fight, and
yeah,
you're right.
Yeah.
So this is funny because I have him as my new number 3.
That's weird.
Over Killmonger.
Mm-hmm. So like, because like the thing is, when I do my villain stuff, I look at so many facets. 1, I look at the performance of the actor. 2, I look at like what their motivations are, which for me, like Killmonger and Namor, kind of the same, a little bit different, kind of the same.
One's a mutant.
3, he just like wrecked shop wherever he went. Like he was just a presence on screen, and he didn't even have to fight or anything. Like he was just a presence, especially like the scene when Nakia killed the Silicon, and then like he like helps her die, kind of in a way, like is there for her. Like,
is there any way you can help me? And he just
like, and then just that anger he had, like it's just he was a presence. Like,
true,
he was one of those where like he was just the best is when like the villain antagonist becomes like the second main. Like I know honestly like the second main character, but he really felt like sometimes I thought he was the main character over Shuri in a sense. But he was just so awesome because it's one of those things with like what Namor normally is, white Speedo dude, to like this.
The anti-Aquaman.
It's just like it's and like and like the crazy thing is he's not doing this for power. He's not doing this for anything. He's doing this just because he wants to protect his people. That's it. Like that's all he wants to do. And just I got him as number 3, but obviously now we have to do the
Wow.
3, 5, 12 thing.
You convinced
Which I did
me.
do already.
You convinced me.
Oh, okay. I have to redo this.
Which is fine by me. Like wherever he ends up, that's fine. As long as, because I think like the more we talk about it, it's like as long as Infinity War Thanos like stays number 1, I'm good.
The question you have to ask yourself is, guys, I can't believe I'm going to say this. Did he
Is he better than Green Goblin?
a better job than Green Goblin? Yes.
Yes.
And you know what? I'm going to have to bring this down. I'm sorry, but he's my new number 9.
Okay, so Ruben, when we do,
because you're right, we did get
we
Killmonger. He's exactly the same.
So you asked yourself, hold on, Eric, I'll let you go after this. You said, is he better than Green Goblin? No. So let me put him underneath Mysterio as well, just because.
Well, Mysterio did like cause chaos, you know, like he literally turned in. The reason why we get Green Goblin is because of Mysterio. So yes, I put him below Mysterio.
I mean, technically, you're not wrong.
Exactly. There you go.
Fuck, he is right.
Woo. So yeah.
By the way, I almost forgot to mention when Namor comes into Wakanda, wrecks shop, and says, "I'll be back in a week to finish this shit." Ballsy. But also, I forgot to mention this: Angela Bassett saving Riri, like, it's just like a fantastic way, like, to express who she is as a character. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
She'll treat anyone as her own.
Mm-hmm.
Which is why everybody called her mother.
True. Okay, so I did the not summary. Average. And we're looking at a new number 8, which is right above Mysterio and right below Green Goblin.
I'm okay with that.
I'm okay.
Top 10 villain.
Too, you know?
Got a new top 10. I won't go over it again because Reeve's about to put it up on the screen. But yeah, he was just a presence on screen.
Yeah, man.
There's some really cool framing in this movie where, like, he's just like floating above the water from like super far away. It's like, that's scary.
He was just so good.
And that means, oh, sorry, you're putting it up on the screen?
Yeah, give me 1 second.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry. It's just taking forever. I'm grateful that I was able to win that argument of me putting it.
Well, hey, look at this! You finally got Loki out of the top 10. I hope you're happy with yourself.
It's about fucking time.
But you like Loki in Avengers, so
I don't.
I thought you said you did.
No, I like Loki and Loki.
You're a weird man.
Loki and any other.
Loki and Loki is Loki in the Avengers. It's the same one.
Yeah, but like he turns into something else, you know?
Thank you, Christian.
He kisses himself and it's just like, he's turned into something else.
Thank you, Christian.
Yeah, was that considered incest? Did we ever decide?
No, we didn't. Because it's the same person. He's having sex with himself.
I think he was enjoying himself.
Exactly.
It's like growing up in a like any kind of public school in America. It's like, hey, if you were sitting next to yourself and they were jerking you off, is that masturbating? And is that gay? It's like, wow.
Thank you for bringing this topic up into our Black Panther Wakanda Forever.
Yeah. Well,
I appreciate it. Which brings us to our next segment, Christian. Ranking the MCU.
Yes, we're going to rank this among the rest of the MCU films so far that we've done. And of course, with our number 10, starting with our list, we're going to start with the number 10 and then move up. Number 10, Black Panther. Number 9, Guardians of the Galaxy. Number 8, Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. Number 7, Spider-Man Homecoming. Number 6, Spider-Man Far From Home. Number 5, Captain America the Winter Soldier. Number 4, Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. I forgot we had that this high on here. Number 3, Captain America Civil War. Number 2, Avengers Infinity War. And number 1, Spider-Man No Way Home. Where is this going? We started with Ruben last time. We'll start with him again.
Oh, Why? No, don't start with me. Start with somebody else.
It's funny this way.
I'm fixing
Okay, you're
up
fine.
the
You're right.
list.
Eric, how you feeling? Where's Wakanda Forever gonna go for you?
He doesn't even know.
19.
19. Wow.
Okay, at least it's over Black Widow.
It's
I
19
can live with that.
for me on this list. 19. Like, because
That's
I
pretty
look
low.
at all the other movies, like Age of Ultron is just, the Avengers, and just they're all just wonderful. You don't like this movie more than I do. But yeah, 19. That's where I have it on you.
I think it's a great movie. I'm playing off this list. I think I compare this a lot to Eternals in the way this is like tonally. I think Eternals is great as well. Off this list, I do think it's better than Ant-Man. But Captain America: First Avenger is like that has a soft spot in my heart. Oh, I gotta rate this over Thor: Love and Thunder though is my thing.
Okay.
And I think it's better than the Avengers as well. I gotta be honest. I think this is a better movie than the Avengers.
Okay.
That's exactly what I was thinking, Christian. New number 12?
One below Thor Ragnarok. New number 12
New number 12.
is that for me.
Okay, so yeah, obviously, if you both have the same one, then that is 2-1 over me, so that's fine.
Okay.
I don't know how to average on this. This is so funny. I did the
No,
wrong.
I mean, if you
No, it's
both
the
have the same,
Yeah.
you both have the same ranking. So
Okay.
that
Oh,
will
sure.
overrule- That will
Yes.
overrule mine.
And there we go. Wakanda Forever, the new number 12, one above the Avengers, and one below Thor Ragnarok.
It's a real shame.
I gotta say, what is the best Phase 4 movie? I don't know, but my favorite,
No way.
Shang-Chi.
I was actually going to say this for next time.
I was gonna say No Way Home.
The
Right,
recap
yes.
of Phase 4, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're all
Like,
wrong.
when
It's
are we
Andor.
gonna do that?
Huh?
When are we gonna do that?
I figured next week, if we could. If not, we can wait until you're on vacation. I think, when do you start vacation?
It'll be next Monday.
Bada bing, bada boom.
I might not be able to make that because I have a flight Tuesday morning, so I might be getting ready for
We
take
can have
off.
Hugo.
Why not do it in December? That way we can talk about the holiday special and have like a Christmas episode of
Okay.
Oh, there
yeah,
you go.
That works. That works.
and like a New Year wrap up.
Okay. All right. The beginning of
We can
Phase
talk
5.
about
Well, right before
Yeah,
the
let's
beginning
get
of Phase 5.
let's get that Italian boy on here.
Yeah.
Ugh, I'm kidding.
We can do some Italian discrimination. I'm kidding.
Oh, jeez.
Kidding. I'm joking.
He'd probably
I'm joking.
join in.
Yeah, I would say he's posted that picture before, so I can say that.
My country is so stupid. Let's you go.
With that being said,
Oh, Dennis, make a new movie, please. Where's Dune 2?
it's
Dude,
coming.
yeah.
It's coming. It's coming. I'm excited.
Hey, I'm only watching it for Florence Pugh. That's it. I shit you
Ah,
not.
dude, Florence Pugh, man. And the Ruben, end the show.
All right.
I'm gonna go horny mode if not.
That being said, until the next conquest.
Wait, we're not gonna have like plugs?
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right. We're Eric. Where can people find you? I totally forgot about plugs.
Eric C again on Twitter. I'm not doing anything. Like I'm getting into
Still on Twitter.
midterm mode for school, so that's about it. I don't literally do anything else. Like
Interesting.
that's it. So,
Still on Twitter, huh?
yeah, I'm still on Twitter. I had to make it my Twitter private because my students were like, "We found your Twitter." I'm like, "Yep, shutting that down."
Okay.
So-
All right. Christian, where can people find you?
Follow me at ISO Christian on Twitter. Swipe right. Tinder.
Okay. All right. And I was really hoping at the end of this video we would have had 300 subs, but unfortunately we do not. We still have 298.
We'll get there.
But Christian,
We'll get there.
9.1K. Telling you, by the
200 views in the past hour for
So
some
far.
reason. Okay.
Yeah, by the end of this month, by the end of this week, it's happening. Yeah, you can find me here on Thursday talking about Game Awards. We will not be watching the Game Awards live just because it's too much. It's like 6 hours.
Yeah.
Jeff Keighley time, which is like a day in regular time.
Get the pre-show. Yeah.
So, yeah, we'll meet back here on Thursday. Not with you two, but we'll see.
Yeah.
With that being said,
we'll be in here in spirit. We're always with you.
Always. Whenever
Excelsior.
we hear Marvel stuff,